Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you would like, and please, I would love for you guys to join my little family that I'm starting. Today I have 5 tips that I believe would be helpful to starting the new year. These are things that I incorporate into my day-to-day life, and I would love to share those with you guys so that maybe you guys will too. These 5 tips are what I like to do if I feel anxious or if I need a break from something with the new year. I think it is important to have things that you can default to help you stay focused and help you be a better version of yourself. There's so many things, but I find that these 5 things are things that I do pretty consistently. If you guys are interested and want to stick around to find out what those tips are, stay tuned and let's get right into it. The first item on the list is self-care. Let's pause for a second. And I just want y'all to know that self-care doesn't have to cost money. Self-care can be something that you do in your home. It could be as simple as a walk. It could be as simple as reading a book, watching TV, taking an hour or 2 to focus on yourself. You don't have to spend money to take care of yourself. I like to read, so I've been reading some books. You know, I hang out with my bunnies. I talk to my husband. I just take time, or even take a bath. Like, it can be things that you can do at home, or like even as simple as going to the park. Like, it could be anything. Don't feed into social media. Like, you don't have to buy a bust down wig, do your nails. Like, you don't have to do all of those things to take care of yourself. So my second tip or advice that I have for you guys is to exercise. I started exercising like 3 years ago, and you know, I'm skinny, like that's obvious. So when I started exercising, it was definitely for my physical. Like, although I am on the slim side, I did notice like after college that I started to gain some weight in my midsection. If I do gain more weight, it's gonna go to my midsection, and I know that. So like, I'm just like the skinny person, and I was starting to develop like a muffin top. And I was like, look, I need to, you know, tone up and keep healthy. And I hate exercising. But what I did do to start was take baby steps. I did 5 minutes a day, and then like a month later, I upped it to 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. I kept it very simple and something that I could commit to do consistently. And then before you know it, I do 30-minute workouts or 45-minute workouts. So another benefit of working out and exercising that I don't hear people really talk about is how it helps you mentally. The growth that I've experienced from working out mentally has really helped me a lot. I didn't even really know that was like an added benefit to working out. I'm a naturally very anxious person, and I started to notice like the more I would get out there and sweat and, you know, release, is it endorphins? Shout. Release something, because my mind is clearer. I started to notice that my anxiety would go down. I really wanted to share this with you guys because not only can working out help you physically, but it can help you mentally. So if you're a very anxious person, that could be a natural remedy, you know, that could help subside some of those anxious symptoms or things that you may have, you know. Just try it out. Like, you just start small. You'd be very surprised at where it could lead you and take you. This leads us into the next point of mental health, aka seeking therapy. That is the third point, and I feel like it's probably one of the most important points that I'm gonna touch on in this video. Mental health is so important, and it keeps you going. For me personally, I started doing therapy in May of 2024, and I've been fairly consistent with it. I've experienced a lot of trauma in my past, and you know, maybe I will touch on that some more in detail, but I feel as though there's a stigma when it comes to therapy and seeking help for your mental health. I would consider myself to be a very high functioning person. What I mean by that is when I experience things, and the things that I have experienced, I can still function through them. But the downside of that is when I have reoccurring thoughts about the things that I've experienced, or even some things that I may experience in my day-to-day life that may trigger or my responses, I literally just shut down. And that is not a healthy way to deal with my trauma. I feel as though I became stagnant and okay with the fact that I can just shove it under the rug and shove it behind me. But you can only do that for so long before the issues start to balloon. One thing about trauma, or not even trauma, any experiences that have negatively affected you, one thing about them is that they can lead to other issues, not even just in the mental realm, physical issues within your body, that pent-up stress. So that's one thing that I'm trying to combat now and just be very proactive about it. So the fourth point on my list is boundaries. Let's be real. Anybody can get it when it comes to boundaries. My friends, my family, my sisters, my pets, anybody can get it. Because when it comes to setting boundaries, that is something that you need to do for yourself so that people do not cross your boundaries. Okay, so for me, I'm a very empathetic person. I love to help people, and if I'm here for you, I want you to know that I'm here for you. But the downside of that is I find myself overextending myself a lot. I know that my plate is full, but I'm maybe I can move that around, or maybe I can see this person and help them with XYZ, and then put myself on the back burner. So a good example of setting boundaries would be, if my plate is full, my plate is full. I need to let people around me know that, no, I can't do this. I find that it's okay to say no, because what's not gonna happen is I'm not going to drive myself crazy. I'm not going to spread myself thin. I need to be okay with saying no, and you guys do too. I literally had to enforce my boundaries last month, 2 months now, in November, Thanksgiving. I find it very hard to enforce my boundaries when it comes to my family. I have the help of my husband to make sure that if I'm feeling kind of fatigued, he kind of helps to step in and help me in that department. I have a pretty good example of what it could look like in the real world to set your boundaries. For Thanksgiving, my husband and I, we went to Florida because that's where my dad stays. So I don't have a good relationship with my dad, but I do understand that I could see him once a year. So with that being said, when we do go to Florida, what that looked like for me is I know my limitations. I know that I can't be around my dad a long time because with him, he's very dismissive and he's not very empathetic. I've spent lots of time trying to talk to him about some of the things that, some of the issues that we've had, but he's not very receptive. So what that means for me is I need to set boundaries with him, because on my end, that is what I can control. I can only control my actions. I can't control the actions of others. So if he wants to remain that way, then I will do what I need to do to protect my peace. So we went to Florida Wednesday. We spent the whole day Wednesday traveling to Florida, got to Florida Thursday, spent Thanksgiving with him, and by Friday morning we were out. He was even surprised. He was asking, why don't you guys stay the weekend? Why did you guys plan the trip so short? And the answer is because I want to protect my space and my peace. So it doesn't have to be a decision that others are okay with. All that matters is, are you okay with it? Nobody else has to like it. Okay, so last but not least, can I get a drum roll? I hear nothing. Okay, so I guess I can't. The last point that I want to touch on is to stop comparing yourself to others. I know that when it comes to success, what is deemed successful, and what is portrayed on social media. They may have gotten a house first, or they may have a really good career, or all of these things. And I understand the peer pressure that falls on our shoulders, especially if you are, you know, a bit younger, or you know, they've reached a certain level of success that is not common amongst the age group that you may be in. It is unnecessary to feel as though that you are less than because you haven't reached said milestone or whatever. What is meant for you is meant for you, and nothing and nobody could take that away from you. So if you have those positive affirmations in your mind, it really should help with the feeling of inadequacy. Maybe cut back on social media usage, probably try to like more positive content that is uplifting and affirming, so that can start flooding your feed instead of the other type of content. Look at the things that you have accomplished within a year. For example, literally just the other day, I looked at my 2024 vision board. When I think about 2024, before I looked at my vision board was, yeah, you know, I did that, but that's whatever. I had maybe like 10 things on my list. I think I noticed that probably 8 of the 10 things I ended up accomplishing. So when I looked at it that way, I was like, oh my goodness, I actually did do a lot of things. Maybe, you know, write them down. Journaling is a good thing. And maybe a few months from now, you can look to see how far you've come and how you've progressed. That is all that I have. I really hope that these tips are very helpful for you guys. And yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share my video if you guys would like, and I will catch you guys in the next one.